Good morning. Happy Sunday. Jump on. Give me some likes, some hearts. Give me some emojis. All right. Hello, Julie. So, tell me how you feel this morning. If you're feeling a little hip stretches or hips, shoulders. I just woke up, if you can't tell. Tell me how you feel, if you need anything in particular today. Otherwise, we will get a full-on stretch going on this morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Sunday. I wish it wasn't rainy out, because otherwise, if it was nicer out and not so rainy, we'd be outside. So, good morning, Holly. So what I want you guys to do, if there's something in particular, if you're like, Holly, my hips are killing me, my glutes are killing me, whatever it is, throw that in the comments. So when I come up after we just do a little bit of breathing and chilling for a second, just kind of checking in, I'll check that and we'll just see what we're kind of feeling today. So, good morning, Mike. Aw, the Kellers. I miss the Keller. I miss all of you guys. I really, really do. I can't wait to get back and see all of you. So, good morning, Alicia. Hello, hello, Karen. Oh, I miss Karen too. God, I miss all of you. I see you guys pop up and I'm like, oh, I want to see you all. I want to hug you all, but I can't even do that. So, find a place on your mat, anywhere on your mat. Pop a comment in there about what's bugging you today. My space heater can probably come off. I'm in the coldest part of my house. Well, my other part is colder, but it's all good. So I want you to find a seat anywhere you want. Anywhere. If your animals are joining us, awesome. Mine's passed out. And I just want us to find a position, first just seated any which way where you have decent posture. And before we do anything, I want to just start by rolling our shoulders up and back, finding a little bit of movement. So you can roll them forward, you can roll them back. Really just kind of stretch and see what feels good to your body today. See what's tight, what feels good. And we're just going to gently roll shoulders back, bring arms up, and just kind of check in with those shoulders and low back. So happy Sunday, you guys. I'm so excited to be here this morning. I just wish the sun was out. But that's me every day. I always want the sun out. So I'm just moving gently, just checking in and seeing how my shoulders feel, how my arms feel, and then I'm going to bring my arms down, and we're going to go a little side to side with a little assisted stretch in the neck. Now, where your body is positioned matters for this, you guys. So if you're like this, that's not going to be a really good position. So thinking sitting up tall, but not so tall that you can't breathe. And then as you find good body position, take a deep breath, exhale, and find that stretch. Now, if you find a really good stretch, you can think about taking another deep breath in, exhale, and get a little deeper into that stretch. And bring it back to center. And then we're going to position, and then go to the side, and then help it if I want to. Deep breath in. Another deep breath in. And then I might just go side to side, forward and back. Just kind of checking in and seeing how my neck, traps, upper back feel. And maybe I want to roll it all the way, halfway around. Just whatever feels good to me. And then I'm going to bring it back to center. So I'm going to take my right hand right next to my left hip, just like it's coming out of my pocket. And then I'm going to keep nice tall position, press into that right hand as I bring that left hand up and find a nice stretch. So I'm pushing my left hip over, supporting with my right hand, and getting a stretch actually all the way up through my back. And then I'm just trying to breathe. And then I'm going to switch sides. So I'm going to place my left hand by my left hip. I'm going to find nice tall position, and then as I bring this right hand up, I'm going to kick my right hip over to the side as I reach my right hand over to the left. And then we're going to switch. So setting yourself up, press, lift this arm up, then reach up and over, and I have a little bend in my right elbow. It's just however it feels best to you, but you just want to think about positioning of your hand, positioning of your body, bring that arm up, and then kick that hip over to the right, and the hand comes over to the left. Nice, let's do one more on each side. And just find a nice long stretch. You're trying to find a stretch from the fingers all the way down the side of your body, all at the same time while relaxing your breathing. Now, from here, let's just, that's going to come off pretty quick, bring our hands anywhere down to our lap. Roll those shoulders back. Just gently close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale out through your mouth. And I just want you to take 10 deep, slow breaths. And I want you to notice how your body feels, where your breath goes, if it comes up into that upper chest, if it's staying up there, or if you're allowing, after you take a deep inhale, allowing those shoulders to come down from your ears, allowing your sit bones to press into the floor, and just allowing yourself to really relax into your breath. So deep breath in through your nose. Exhale out through your mouth. And just start to slowly find that rhythm of your breath this morning. So many times we're just ready to jump right into stuff. Well, I want you to really focus right now on your breath. Your breath is part of the workout. So controlling our breath and keeping that rhythm to our breath allows you, when you're in a pose that might not be super easy, or might be a little twist in it, or a little harder pose for you to get into, you are more mindful to connect your breath to your body in that movement. So think solely about your breath right now and how your breath fills up your lungs, but then you're able to relax the shoulders down, relax the sit bones into your mat, and really release all those tight spots in your body. Because as you get to your 5th, 6th, 7th breath, or even up to that 10th breath, you'll notice a large difference from your first breath to your last breath. It's a lot more controlled. It's a lot slower. It's a lot more intentional. So make those matter. And then take 2 more slow inhales and exhales. And then after that second one, you're just going to come forward into a tabletop, but then we're going to come back into a child's pose. So I'm going to come tabletop, bring my knees wide, big toes to touch. I'm going to slide my hands forward, and I'm just going to gently move my hips side to side as I shimmy them back, but I'm also being mindful not to just push my ribs to the floor. I'm thinking about pressing through my palm of my hand and pressing my hips back towards my heels. And then just very gentle, slight movement, just to check in and see how those hips feel. If I want to put my head down to the mat, I can certainly do that too. If I want my hands to be wider, I can do that as well. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale out through your mouth. And then rise yourself up to tabletop. From here, we're going to do a little just like we've always done, right? So let's do a little side to side. I'm going to find those wrist stretches. And then I'm going to come forward and find a wrist stretch here. And then I might come back and find a child's pose, reach my hands forward. So you can really make this what you want it, guys. You can go side to side. Maybe your wrists are awesome. Maybe you need a little bit more of a stretch. And that's where we find those stretches here. So coming forward, finding a wrist stretch. Coming side to side, but always being mindful about body position. Now, as we come up this next time, we're going to thread the needle. You guys have all done this with me before. I'm going to take that left hand to the outside. I'm going to kick my hips over to the left, find the stretch of my right inner thigh. I'm going to kick my hips over to the left, raise up that right arm. Then thread it through. So back of hand, back of arm, back of shoulder. Find that nice little T-spine stretch. And then bring it back up. Thread it through. So just be mindful of how your body is moving, is feeling, what it's telling you. As you get down into this third or fourth time into a thread the needle, you can either leave that left hand on the ground. If you have really good body position and that arm's coming straight out from that shoulder and you have that nice stretch in the shoulder, bring that left arm up high to the sky. You can keep it here. You can bind it behind you. You could open that shoulder. You could reach for your right quad. Just make sure that left shoulder isn't rounding to the floor. Open that shoulder up to the ceiling and then find your breath again. Find 2 or 3 breaths here. You'll bring that hand back down. You'll bring it back to tabletop. You'll cat-cow. Same thing with the right side. So you're going to take that right hand to the outside of the mat. Hips come over to the right. Stretches in the inner left thigh. Ribs are in. Hips are over to the left. Stretch in the right thigh. Bring that arm up. Thread it through. Back of hand, back of arm, back of shoulder. This stretch is just one of the best stretches for my T-spine and my back. So connect your breath to your movement. Find that amazing edge of that stretch for you. And when you find that, that's where you decide where you want to go. Once you find that position, you're going to think 3 breaths or so. When you're ready to release, you'll release. You'll bring it back to center. You'll cat-cow. And then I want you to sit back on your heels for a second. And then you're going to come anywhere seated in front of you. So we're going to do a little seated cat-cow just because it's a good one. So I go 1 foot in front of one shin. And what I'm going to do is find nice tall posture. And then I'm going to press back and find that nice little cat position. But then I'm going to use my hands as I come forward. I'm going to find neutral. And then I'm going to use my hands against my knees and find a little stretch here. So forward and back, little seated cat-cow. Just because it feels so good. So do 3 or 4 of those. If you want to add a little, actually let's add a little twist. We haven't done these in a while. So I'm going to come back to center. I'm going to take my right hand behind me on my fingertips. My left hand, because I'm going to make sure I have my right foot in front of my left shin, because I want to take my left hand to the outside of my right knee. I want to bring my knee up towards my chest so I get the stretch of my wrist. Press through the fingertips of my right hand, lengthen up, and then gently twist. Now I'm not forcing myself into the deepest twist I can go. When I find the edge of that twist, I'm going to release, come back, counter stretch it, and then we're going to come back here again. So I'm going to press, bring this knee up towards me, lengthen my body, and maybe get a little further in my twist, and then counter stretch it. So you're finding the edge of your twist, and that might look different for every single one of you. So with me, when I switch sides, I'm going to switch feet. So my left foot is going to be in front of my right shin. I'm going to take my right hand to the outside of my left knee. This one doesn't come up as much because my ankles are a little tighter on that side. So I'm going to use right hand outside of left knee, left hand behind me. I'm gonna bring this in, lengthen up my body, and gently turn. Now I'm only getting to like right there, right? Not very far. But my goal is I release, I counter stretch. And when I come back, I set myself up and try to get a little further. And then I come back here. And one more time, we end up going a little bit further. So when you come back to center, cat-cow once or twice. Hopefully our upper back is feeling a little bit better. And then if you have a band, awesome. If you don't, that's fine too. Usually we've done a down dog by now, right? So my bands are hidden over in the corner. So I'm gonna just simply take what I have, which is a sweatshirt, right? If I need it, what I'm gonna do is lay all the way down. We usually do these at the end, but we're gonna do them now. So if you have a band, awesome. You guys have done these a million times. If you don't have a band, that's okay too. You can simply either just go with what you can maintain without losing your low back, or you could use like a sweatshirt, right? So if I had this, I could use my sweatshirt. So what I'm gonna do is first, I'm gonna find that nice stretch in that hamstring. So whether you have a band, whether you don't have a band, you can do it whichever way you want to. You can even have a rope. And I'm just gonna find the edge of that stretch. Now, I might bend my knee and do a little half happy baby. My hips are pretty open. You just kind of got to gauge and see how your body feels today. Now, if you have a band, awesome. If you don't, you can do this exact same thing. So what I'm going to do is I keep my left foot bent because I'm going to use my hips like a teeter-totter, and I'm going to get myself all aligned here. On my exhale, I'm going to open up and find that stretch right here. So it's totally possible to do this without a band. And if you notice, my low back is all on the ground. My shoulders are on the mat. So I can actually open up here, or this is where I'd have a band here. And my goal is to try to keep shoulders and hips on the mat and isolate the stretch here. Now, on your next exhale, you're gonna bring that right leg up. You're gonna extend the left leg straight. So this is where if you had a band, you'd switch hand holding the band and bring your right out for balance. Now, if you don't have a band, you can be like me and just gently guide it across. But I'm trying to keep both shoulders on the mat. So I'm gonna try to keep both shoulders on the mat while I try to get this leg across. But you can definitely use a band or a t-shirt or whatever you got. But you're trying to find the stretch in the outer right hip. Now I'm gonna bring it all the way back up to center. I might point my toe, roll my ankle, might half happy baby at once. And then I'm gonna switch legs. So left leg's gonna come up. This leg's gonna be a lot tighter for me. So what I'm gonna do first is maybe a little half happy baby, see how that feels. It's a lot tighter. And just check it in to see how my body feels. That one is not as loose as the other side. So this might be where I have to take my sweatshirt and modify any which way I can. Who knew my 5 sweatshirts come in handy for more than one thing, right? So I'm gonna treat this like a band at the gym. I'm gonna go ahead and take my right leg bent. I'm gonna bring my right out for balance. I'm gonna take a deep breath. On my exhale, I'm gonna open that leg up. And I'm also gonna open up the other side. So I'm gonna use my legs like a teeter-totter. I'm gonna isolate that stretch in the inner left thigh. Ooh, see, sweatshirts work just as well as bands. I'm gonna try to keep both my shoulders on the mat, both my hips on the mat, and I'm isolating the stretch in the inner right thigh. Now, on that next exhale, you're gonna bring it up. You're gonna extend your right leg straight. You're gonna switch hands holding your band, or be really mindful about your body position, and you're gonna bring it over. Now, left hip can pop up, but I want right shoulder and left shoulder on the mat. And you're isolating the stretch in your hip, not in your low back. So usually when I see that, that's when I see shoulders popping up and then it's all going into low back. I want you to really isolate it in the outer left hip flexor. And bring it all the way back to center. And you might point, you might flex, you might roll that ankle, you might half happy baby it. So bring both knees into your chest. Ooh, I know what we'll do because it's super fun. Bring both knees into your chest, give yourself a little hug, maybe roll side to side. And then we're gonna rock and roll to a boat pose. You guys have all done this before. It's so much fun. It's like when we're kids, right? And we kind of rock and roll it. And it's totally fine if you don't make it or if you go too far, right? So if I come up, oop, and I'm trying to find like a V-up position. If I can find that, awesome. If I can't, that's okay too. My goal is to roll myself to standing. So get yourself to standing. Hello, hello, everyone. Low back, mid back, quads and glutes, shoulders. Karen, we just hit your shoulders. All right, guys, top of your mat. Happy Sunday. We're just gonna make the whole body feel awesome like we always do. Sundays are for, if you come, when you come to class, if you're sore, you wanna feel better or not as sore. Rick always says it, be there or be sore. I need a shirt that says that. So bring the arms all the way up. We're gonna reach all the way up, find a nice big stretch. We're gonna exhale, we're gonna fold it down to the ground. So check in, guys, see how you feel. If you need blocks, use those blocks. So we got hips, low back, a little bit of shoulder. Well, let's just stretch it all out, right? All right, guys, fingertips to shins. We're gonna lengthen up. So shoulders back and down, ribs in and up, like a straight leg deadlift. The stretch is in the hamstrings, but you're not overextending your back and you're not punching those ribs to the floor. We're gonna plant our hands. We're gonna step back. We're gonna hop back. We're gonna jump back. High to low. Now, when you come up to a cobra, a sphinx, or an up dog, we're not leading with our back. We're gonna press through our hands and we're gonna bring our ribs in and up and lengthen up and back. Makes a huge difference on your low back. Then you're gonna notice your shoulders. Are they coming forward or are you rolling them back? So you might be here, totally acceptable. Whatever works for your back. Curl your toes. Bring your hips up and back. Find that down dog, walk it out. So this is where I want you to pick up your hands. Pick up one of your hands, place them down. Pick up your feet, place them back down. Walk your dog out and see how it feels. Nice. Now we're gonna come forward into bear crawl and you're gonna bring your right leg underneath you. You're gonna keep your ribs in and up, then you're gonna lengthen that right leg high to the sky. Now notice your hips. Square your hips to your mat and step your hands half a step closer to you if you need to try to get that left heel down. So I'm really pressing into that left heel so I can get the stretch in the left calf. If I want to bend my right leg, I can. I'm just finding a three-legged dog stretch. Now bring that right leg back down. Walk it out. Same thing with the left. I'm just going to bring my left leg forward underneath me into a bear crawl. So I'm almost bringing my knee in between my hands and it's elevated. And then I'm gonna lengthen that left leg high. I'm gonna step my hands back. I'm gonna square my hips and I'm gonna try to get that right heel down to get that stretch in that right calf. Then I'm gonna breathe. And then I'm gonna might bend my left leg. Just check in, see how it feels. And then I'm gonna place down my left leg. I'm gonna find a nice down dog. And then I'm gonna bend my knees. I'm gonna skip, hop, jump, float, whatever I gotta do. Fingertips to shins, we're gonna lengthen up. So, head and neck included. So many times we forget about that. Our gaze is to the floor, crown of your head all the way to your tail. Should all be a nice line. Exhale and fold. Can't get to the ground, what do? We use those blocks. And we bend and move. Because that allows us to get into those hips. It allows us to connect our breath to your movement. So let's say, like, you might not look like the person next to you doing yoga. So if you're not doing yoga alone right now, they might look completely different. And that's okay. So you're going to bend your knees, roll yourself all the way to standing, gentle little squeeze. You go where you want to go. So I like to go side to side. I like to do a little full-on roll. And just find a nice stretch that feels good for me. Nice, guys. All right, let's stretch out some hips, right? Because we know that awesome hip sequence I do that just makes you feel amazing. So when we come down to this first, or this next forward fold, I want you to really check in about what your hips feel like to you right now. because we want to compare that later and check in, right? So we want to test and retest. I do that even if we're doing it in yoga. I sneak it in. So bring the arms up. Exhale, fold it down. Check in, see how it feels. Fingertips to shins, we're going to lengthen up. So shoulders back and down, ribs in and up. Plant your hands down, step back, hop back, jump back, high to low. So really solid push-up basically is what you're doing. And then ribs in and up. Find here. We'll meet in down dog. Walk it out as much or as little as you want. Just depends on what your body feels. But what I've noticed over years and years of yoga is that if I move my body in ways that feel good to me, even if it's not traditional, it has opened my body up and opened spaces in my body up way more than just holding those poses. Okay, so we're going to get our right foot to our hands, any which way you want to do it. I'm coming forward into bear crawl and then lengthening that leg high. I step my hands back. I come up on the tippy toe of my left, right leg comes in and up to my chest, to my hands. So now I'm going to lengthen back. My left leg, I'm going to train track it. If I need a block, I use a block. And then I'm going to lower down that back knee. So I'm keeping a nice tall line from my back knee all the way up. So notice I'm not here. I'm not here. I have a nice long line, like if I would be in a plank, my right foot is just forward. Now my right foot is in line, because what I'm going to do here is first, I need my block, my hip is tight. Find that nice stretch. So I'm finding the edge of this stretch for me, where I can also keep good posture. I'm going to take a deep breath in. And I'm going to exhale. And I might push down a little deeper into this left hip, but I'm not crunching my ribs out. That's the hard part. So I'm going to think about taking a deep breath in. And getting a little deeper into that stretch before we move. So I might take 3 really slow, deep breaths there, really find the edge of that stretch, and then I'm going to hinge back that left hip, but keep that right heel planted. That right heel is not going anywhere. And I'm going to find that opposing stretch in my right hamstring. And then I'm going to come forward, but I need my block because otherwise I'm falling into my joint. And I don't want to do that. I want to think about having a nice tall line, really finding this stretch, maybe taking my hand and using it on my, right above my right knee, like if we had a kettlebell and we're doing a stretch. And then when I'm ready, I'm going to hinge it back. So really this one is at your pace. Some people's hips are a lot more open, or you might notice your right is a little bit more open than your left. So I'm just going to see how that feels. My left hip is tight. My right hamstring is not. So when I'm ready, because you've done this before and we know this works, right? So if I'm set up same position here, I'm going to go ahead when I'm ready and I'm going to walk my foot to the outside edge. So my right foot is on the edge of my mat. I'm not riding the outer arch. I'm not pressing out my knee. And I want to think about making sure I have a deep stretch of my left leg and left hip. So I'm going to come up on my toes quick and find that deep stretch. I'm still train tracked. And then I'm going to bring down my knee, relax the foot. So this is where we're going elbow to floor without doing that, okay? So that's step 1. Step 2, we'll get there. So step 1 is here. You want to take a deep breath in. I like to take the outer part of my tricep and work it down my elbow so that I know I'm not pushing out my leg. So I'm going to take a deep breath. Exhale. Don't push out the knee or the foot to get the elbow to the floor. Inhale, bring it up. Connect your breath to your movement. You may notice one side is more open than the other. That's totally fine. Now, usually when I can get to the floor without moving my leg, then I'm going to half step or about a step my foot in and then ride the outer arch of that right foot as I open this knee. Now, some people, you're like, whoo, that's tight, Holly. I might need a couple blocks, couple books, whatever it is to keep myself where I can be in good body position and I'm not just falling into my joints. Now, I might take a block and put one back here on my right, like right below, kind of my quad, my hip, because it helps support this so I don't fall into my ribs. So I'm just going to find a nice stretch. I might do a little movement. So you know how Chris yesterday was doing in a squat? He was moving from side to side in different positions. Well, set yourself up first where you should be, and then ease little movements. These are not quick movements, and these are not like really big movements. They're really small, gentle movements where you're just trying to see how that feels, and then connect your breath to it. Because different poses, you'll notice sometimes if you get really hot and you're all of a sudden super sweaty, your body is like, whoo, what did we do, you know, or is in a position you're not used to. And so what it's going to do is your breath is immediately going to be one of the first things that starts getting up into your chest. So if you start to notice that it's going up into your chest, I want you to think about, whoo, really, have I been in this position before? Do I feel okay in this position? And whoo, I've seen it with some of you guys before where you're like, whoo, that was, whoo, man. So know that in our hips, we like to store lots of stuff in our hips, right? So when you're ready, whoo, you're gonna hinge back. That left hip, I'm gonna keep my right heel where it's at. Oh, that left hip is like, hello. And I'm gonna find us a nice stretch back here in my right hamstring. And then I'm gonna bring that leg behind me. I might hip circle both, just because I was really isolating that stretch in that left hip. So now we're going to come back up and find a down dog again. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Actually, what I should do, first, why don't you bend your knees, gaze goes forward, step, hop, jump, float, fingertips to shins, lengthen up. Exhale, fold it down. See if you notice a difference between your right hip and your left hip, even your right side and your left. Whew. Maybe you can touch the floor on one side. Now, fingertips to shins again, lengthen up. Plant your hands down, step back, hop back, jump back, high to low. Make sure you press through your hands, ribs stay in and up. Find a nice stretch. Meet me in down dog. Walk it out. You move as much or as little as you want, guys. But I'm a big fan of moving and connecting your breath to it. So we're going to bring left foot to your hands. Come forward into bear crawl. Lengthen that left leg high to the sky. Step back your hands if you need to. Come up on the tippy toe of the left, or right, my bad. Left knee comes in and up to your chest, to your hands. So you find this first. You train track your feet. Then you bring down the knee. Use that block if you need, or two blocks if you need. And I'm going to set myself up. So I'm going to have a slight angle at my front left shin. I'm going to press down and isolate that stretch of my hip without overextending my low back. Whew. And I'm going to find a really deep few breaths while I keep those ribs in and up. So if I need to come here, that's fine, because I want to think about lengthening up and back without overextending my back or rounding my back. When I'm ready, I'm going to hinge back. I'm going to find that opposing stretch. Ooh. And then I'm just going to follow it back and forth and see what feels best to my body, but not losing this part, so not overextending and pushing out. You should never feel a ton of pain in stretches. You should think more like you're finding the edge of the stretch. Ooh, that feels good. Able to connect your breath to the movement. And then think about this. If you're like, oh my gosh, and your whole face is like this, your body is not going to relax. So think about if you're like, man, this is tight, or oh, that hurts. Think about your face. And if your face is like super tight, focus on that. If you focus on that, what happens is, oh, suddenly you don't realize. You're like, wow, That doesn't hurt anymore. So if this side's starting to feel a little bit more open to you, then what we're gonna do is we're gonna walk that left foot to the outside edge of our mat. I'm gonna set myself up first. So I'm gonna find a deep stretch. I'm gonna bring my right leg back up. I'm gonna extend that leg back and then lower down the knee. So I have a nice deep stretch. I'm gonna come 90 with my left arm, and I bring my tricep on the inner part of my leg, and I ride it down that leg. So I think about deep breath, keeping my ribs in. Exhale. You will notice a difference in your right and your left. My right took me like 3 times to get there. My left's like, hello, I'm already there. So I might do 2 or 3 where I'm keeping really good position, and then when I'm ready, so you go at your pace. If you're not ready to be here yet, you don't have to come here yet. If you want to place a block back in there and have a block to have your hands on, there's so many ways that you can prop yourself up to be in a good body position, even if you're not quite there. Or you back off and work the edge of it. So if you're not quite here yet, you might still be to this one. And that's okay, because I've seen a lot of you guys start where you're still at, going up and down with your arm to the floor, but eventually you get here. It's just practice, guys. Practice and breathing, right? Now, when you're ready, you're gonna hinge back, that right hip. You're gonna bring back and find the stretch in the left hamstring. I might point my toe, flex my toe. And then I'm gonna bring that leg behind me. I'm gonna hip circle, both sides. I might extend my leg up, but I keep that neutral position and then reach up. Gives me a nice little stretch. It's kind of like a dancer pose, keeping the ribs in and lengthening that leg up. Now, cat-cow a couple times. Curl your toes, bring your hips up and back, find your down dog. Pick your hands up. Move around a little bit. Bend your knees, gaze goes forward, step, hop, jump, float. Fingertips to shins, guys, lengthen up. Exhale and fold. Check in. Maybe you're grabbing the back of your calves. Maybe you're placing your hands underneath your feet and then gently pulling your shoulders back and down, ribs in and up, and really finding a stretch in the top of your glute, low back. It's almost kind of like a gorilla stretch. And then bend your knees, ground into the floor, roll yourself all the way to standing, gentle little squeeze, go where you want to go. How are we feeling, guys? Ooh, it's already 9:38. Why does yoga go so fast? So come to the top of your mat. How are we doing? Hopefully good. So come to the top of your mat. It's a rainy day out today. Whew, are we getting to the floor? I hope we're getting to the floor. All right, so let's do high lunges and then go into some warriors. So we're gonna start top of your mat. I'm just coming to the side so you can see me here. I know you guys have done this, but I'm gonna spell it out because I see really crazy looking lunges a lot. So, what I want you to do, and this is the only pose I start off with my left foot. So you're gonna step back with your left, okay, into a lunge. So I'm train tracking my own feet. But do you notice how my pelvis, when I lock this leg, I wanna lean forward, I can't move that pelvis. So if I were to come up, I'm gonna come up like this. That's not always the best on our body. And I want you in a better position. So I'm gonna take one hand on my belly, one hand on my low back, palm up. I'm gonna bend the knee. Now from here, because I'm right by my pelvis, I can squeeze my butt and bring my ribs in, and then this quad fires, and then I'm gonna come here. So I'm gonna lengthen both my legs up, and then I'm gonna send my heel back towards the floor of the left, but I'm not gonna touch it. And I got that deep, deep, deep stretch here. Now this is where I can adjust and just kind of shimmy my feet where I need it to be. And if I want to get into deeper into a pose, but I'm maintaining this tallness of myself, right? If I can keep that, I'm going to come here. Ooh, it's a deep, deep, deep hip stretch. If you got it right, you're feeling it all right here. Now, I'm going to bring my hands down to heart center. I'm going to bend my back knee just slightly. I'm going to turn on the big toe mound, and I'm going to drop my hip, or drop my heel back. So, I'm going to have to move my foot over just a little bit because I want to be heel to arch. And I also might feel like my hips aren't opening up to you guys. You don't want them going forward. What I'm going to do is straighten my leg, because I know that my hips are slightly, if you can tell, going this way. I don't want them to go this way. I want them to go to you guys. So how do I fix that? How I fix that is lifting back my heel, maybe sliding back my toe a little bit, and opening my hips up to you guys. I go straight legs first, and keeping myself tall here. Then I'm going to drop down into that warrior. Notice my knee isn't over my toes. I have a deep stretch here and here, and I'm not pushing my butt out, okay? So I'm right here first, nice and tall. So I might be here to here. Notice how I just drop into that. Everything here stays the same. Right here. If you can maintain that, keep this tall. Arms come out. Shoulders come back and down. Gaze is over your fingertips. Now, you're going to sink down a little deeper. Oh, yeah. Turn the palm of the front hand. Left hand's going to go down my back leg. Right hand's going to come up and back. I like to go straight leg reverse warrior. You can be bent leg if you'd like. My fingertips, I'm looking at my fingertips. Come back forward. Knee gets bent. Position stays tall. We're going to bring our right elbow to our right knee. Left hand's going to come up and over. So I'm trying to find a stretch from the fingertips of the left all the way down to my foot. My whole foot is on the ground of the left. I'm engaging in my right arm so I'm not falling into that, or I'm coming to here, or I'm going to bind. You might want to come here, and that's okay too. Or here, or here, or here. Your jam, whatever you want to do. Left hand's going to come back. You're going to keep those ribs in and up. You're going to come back, straight leg, find a warrior two. Whew. Feel that in those inner thighs yet? You should. All right, curl your hands, turn your back foot, step back into down dog, walk it out. Whoo, hello hips. Now bend your knees, look at your hands, step, hop, jump, float. Fingertips to shins, lengthen up. Exhale and fold. So if you need to bend, bend. If you don't, find the edge of that stretch, connect your breathing to it. Now bend your knees, ground into the floor, roll yourself all the way to standing, gentle little squeeze. You go where you want. Then we're going to step back and do the other side. Whew. Okay, so top of your mat, you're going to step back with your right leg. So from here, I'm standing nice and tall. I'm going to step back with my right. Now, if you see, I can't go anywhere with those hips, right? So I'm going to bend my knee. I'm going to place one hand on my belly, one hand palm up on my back. I'm going to squeeze my glute. Right quad fires, lengthen up. Now I'm going to send my heel back, not going to touch the floor though. And then I need to sometimes adjust with my right foot if I want to get a little deeper. Then I just shimmy my foot forward, keeping, maintaining this and not punching out here. And then I might bring my arms up. This is a balance pose too, you guys. You want to just think about, how is my body positioned? Does it feel good? Can I find length all the way up and back? Now when you're ready, we're going to turn on the big toe onto the back foot, and we're going to drop that heel back. So I want to open my hips again up to you guys. So I know that I need to go heel to arch. I'm going to straighten my legs so I'm like in a triangle. My back foot's about 45 degrees, but my hips are open to you, not forward. So next thing I'm going to do, keep myself nice and tall, drop down into that knee. So you want to look where you're just here to here. You're not pushing your butt out. You're just dropping straight down. So you have a stretch here, you have a stretch here. Once you find that, then bring those arms up. You might just be working this, and that's totally okay, you guys. Connecting your breath to this and finding your foundation is gonna be step one. So if you've never done yoga with me, this is step one, right? We gotta build these poses from the ground up. How they're built and the foundation of them matter. So how your feet are gripped into the floor matter. All of that. Once you find this, guys, if you can find this, you're gonna come here. Strong warrior arms, shoulders back. Fingers spread wide. You can come up and down if you need to. You can get a little deeper into that. Connect your breath to it. When you're ready, turn the palm, the front hand. Back hand's gonna go down my leg. I like to extend my front leg straight. Find a little reverse warrior. I'm looking at the fingertips of my left. And I'm breathing. Now I'm gonna bring it all the way back down. I'm gonna find that really strong warrior first. Then I'm gonna bring my elbow down to here. Now notice I'm not doing this, right? I'm engaging that arm, keeping that length. I might bring this arm up here. I might bring it down here. I might bind it behind me. Just kind of depends where you're at today, where your hips feel, and what's open to you. And what your body and your breath, when you connect your body and your breath, you start to find, oh wow, I can get to different positions and different poses. So when you're ready, you're gonna keep those ribs in, you're gonna bring it back up. Straight legs if you want. Bring it back down. Find another warrior. Pinwheel your hands. Take your foot back, find your down dog. Walk it out. Now bend your knees, gaze goes forward, step, hop, jump, float. Fingertips to shins, lengthen up, find that straight leg deadlift, shoulders back, ribs in, stretches here. Deep breath in, exhale and fold it. Maybe you grab the back of your calves, maybe you ragdoll your arms, maybe you're still bending, and that's totally acceptable, you guys. You do what feels good for your body. Now bend both your knees, ground into the floor, roll yourself all the way to standing. Gentle little squeeze. Go where you want to go. Woo! How are we feeling? You have to tell me how you feel. Our hips feel open and amazing and awesome. That's the goal. Woo! My hips feel way better. So, 9:48, we gotta do balance pose. See, we did dancer last week. Let's do two of them. I think we're gonna do two different ones. Yay, Karen. Karen's got better hips. Karen never lies to me. She'd flat out tell me and be like, Holly, hey, I need more hips. All right, so we're gonna do two balance poses. First one we're gonna work on is tree pose because we've done it before. If you wanna make this hard and have something at home that you can step on, like one of these puppies, that makes it even harder, right? I'll show you guys that too. So, it's a little bit of a stickler on balance. You guys know that. I want you to think about if this is your foot, right? Actually, we're gonna think about it this way. If this is your foot, big toe, pinky toe, center of your heel, you want like a tripod on and your weight evenly put on that whole foot, okay? So that's the staple part of every balance pose that I do. Think big toe, pinky toe, center of your heel. Now we're doing tree pose. So I want to be nice and tall. I want this glute squeezed as I bring this leg up. Own this first. This might be your balance pose, guys. This is totally fine. But you got to own this in order to be able to take your hand, grab your ankle, and place your left foot either inside, above your right knee, or below. So I'm placing my foot in there, squeezing that glute and opening up that right hip. Gaze is on something that's not moving, nice and tall. Now my hands can be wherever I want them to be. Why? Because trees move, guys. So if your tree moves, that's okay. You want to keep nice tall position, and the goal is to get yourself out of this pose the same way you got into this pose. Just don't be on the knee. Really easy to be able to pop your knee out if you were putting too much pressure in there. So when you're like, whoo, I'm feeling that glute, you're gonna try to come out of this pose the exact way you came into it. And if your balance is on, your whole right leg and glute will be like, hello, what are you doing, right? So shake it out, shake it out. Ooh, Julie got a new yoga block and she's balancing on her block. So practice that side and then we'll switch to the other side, but I wanna also show you ways you can make this harder. So I've done this in class before where we'll do levels. If you wanna work and strengthen your ankles, great way to do it. I've also had some guys that are taller, so they'll do this. Okay, so same thing. If I'm gonna balance here, it's a little bit harder. It's like you're almost on a balance beam, right? And you're gonna find this. Same thing. So this would be like medium. This would be the hard one. So this side I was rocking, right? This will, if your tree is amazing, it's amazing. If your tree is amazing, you need to be on one of these because then this becomes a lot more challenging. Notice how my balance was fine before. So if you are really working on a challenge, or if you were at home on carpet, okay, if you're doing balance poses on carpet, you're going to find when you come off of the carpet that you are like, whoa, why was that so much easier to get into? Because you've been practicing in an solid surface, right? That's what I was doing downstairs for the longest time. I've moved myself upstairs. So when you're ready, we're gonna switch sides. And you can work on these as long as you want. So think about grounding into that left foot. So big toe, pinky toe, center of your heel. I'm here. I'm gazing off at something that's not moving. And when I'm ready, I'm gonna go here. I'm squeezing, opening that hip up. Gaze is on a dumbbell that's across the room. Keeping myself nice and tall because trees are tall. And finding this. Goal, you guys, is to come out of it same way you came into it. Let's try this puppy on this side. See what happens, right? This is where the challenge is at. So you got to find your hard, right? Find something that is hard for you and practice it every day. It might be just this, and I might just be raising a leg and working on balance and not even getting to the tree pose. And that's okay, you guys, because that's how you get better at things. Woo, all right. So we're gonna do one more balance pose before we go into a pigeon, just because I think I actually have a wall I can show you guys if I move one thing. So we're gonna do half moon because we did it the other day, and I want you guys, here, I'll show you because I have a wall and I can move one thing. This is actually like a cactus, FYI. It's pretty cool. Okay, we're gonna do half moon, but I'm gonna show you with kind of a modified wall for me, and I'm gonna show you with blocks. So, if I'm going with blocks, half moon looks like this. My block is about, I don't know, 10 inches from me. I'm gonna be nice and tall. I'm gonna come forward here. So if I need to, I might start off here. And my foot is back here. Now what I'm gonna do is press my hand in, and I've kind of made my foot in between. So I've made a triangle with my hands and my feet. My hips are squared first. What I'm gonna do is press into my right hand, open up my left hip, keep my toe flexed, keep my gaze down, try not to fall backward. Okay, so this is half moon. Now let's see if I can kind of do it with a wall. So if I had a wall, and I don't want to break anything because Trent made it look all nice over here. Same thing, but I can press myself against the wall. So I'm going to kind of show you with my back foot. So now, if you can see, I can open up here and my butt is against the wall. And then I can press myself off the wall a little bit. But if I fall back, because we have a tendency sometimes to fall this way. When we're in half moon, we're like, woo, we fall this way. because we're putting our weight not on our foot evenly. So if you need a wall, take a wall in your house, and that way you can get your booty up against it, and then you can press into your foot and your hand and find length up. So half moon, looking like this. Woo, find that foot, open up. Now the hard part is if your gaze comes up, this becomes a lot more challenging. Because when your fingers come up here, you want to fall that way and go that way. So just be mindful and safe about how you get in and out of things. Then we're going to switch sides. Woo. We haven't worked that one in a while. Then I can put my half cactus, dried cactus back. We're switching up where I'm at in my house. So instead of taking up 2 rooms, I'm taking up 1. Okay, same thing, but we're gonna go other side. So I have 2 blocks in front of me just simply because then I can evenly put my hands there. I'm gonna take my left foot in between those 2 blocks, or in between where my hands would be. So I made a triangle with my hands and foot. I'm gonna bring my right leg up, so I'm coming to here. Hips are squared down first, but then I'm gonna put my weight into my left hand, into that block or into the floor, press through my foot, flex my right foot, keep my ribs in. Gaze to the floor makes this easier and more therapeutic. The wall helps to train your body into where it should be. Your hips should not be at the floor. If you need to reset, you just reset. If you get really good at these, you can then break them, come down into a little ball, and then lengthen back up again. So I bring everything into a ball if I want, if my balance is amazing, and then open it up. Kind of like a flowing half moon. Ooh, ooh, same thing. We're working those glutes, those calves. Feels amazing. Okay, friends. Let's come to the top of our mat. Ooh, a little bit of balance. A little bit of stretch. Check in, see how your body feels. Let's move you back to where you were. Okay, arms come up. Big old stretch, maybe a big old little back bend. See how that feels. Exhale, fold it down, check in. Are we closer to the floor? I hope so. Fingertips to shins, you guys, lengthen up. Shoulders back and down, ribs in and up. Find that straight leg deadlift. You would want to feel like you could almost pick up a weight, except for maybe not with the straight legs. Plant your hands down, step back, hop back, jump back. Solid high to low. Press through your hands. Don't lead with your low back. I want you to think ribs in and up. Press, 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 press through those hands, shoulders back. Find your down dog. Now we're coming to pigeon. But I want you to know that if you need to go on your back for pigeon, you can. And then I also want you to think about, you can always video yourself too. If you see yourself in a down dog like this where you're forward, I want you to think about pressing those hips back. Make yourself a triangle. Now, we're going to come, bring up your right leg. Lengthen that right leg high to the sky. However you want to get it there, bring your right foot or right knee to your right ankle, slide back your left. So you're going to find this. Now, if this is not a good position for you and you need to be on your back, awesome. If this is where you want to be, awesome. If you want to be like Chris was doing yesterday, because some of us can't get there, and that's okay. I might do a 90-90, where I get 90 here, 90 here. And what he was doing, whereas you take your hand, let's go this way. You take your hand like it's coming out of your pocket right here. And you place it down. Because then what you're going to do is bring this arm, remember he was stretching here, and then bringing it here. So he placed his left hand underneath. I'm pressing down with my left hand. I'm not bringing myself to the floor here. I'm going to find that nice tall position, and then find that stretch. So that might be where you are. You might not be in a full pigeon. Or you might do a modified pigeon. You guys know that it's always whatever works for you. So if you're like Holly, this is what I need, then that's where you go. If you need more of the 90-90 stretch, then that's where you go. It just really depends on what your body is telling you and what your body is allowing you to do today. So deep breath in through your nose. Exhale out through your mouth. And then we're going to switch sides. So if you're one of my ladies that I know is in here that wants to grab their back leg, they certainly can. This is optional. You don't have to do it. But take your right hand, fingertips, hips, back foot all at once. You could touch your foot. That might be all you do. You might even get here. Who knows? But I know Julie is working on this puppy. I know Alicia's working on this puppy too. And if I'm here, I'm going to bring my ankle into me and then lengthen it back. Kind of like a couch stretch, but I'm keeping my ribs in, shoulders back, lifting tall. Like I have that string attached to the ceiling and it's just pulling me up. It's like a pulley. But that is optional. And then switch sides. So find your down dog in between. And then switch sides. So I'm going to slide back. I might stay in pigeon here. I might go into that 90-90 pose. Just whatever feels best to your body, guys. And I want you to just find 5, 6, 7 breaths. Or you're going into that 90-90 pose. And you're just going to find a stretch. So deep stretch, breathing, relaxing. Finding that stretch. More like an 8th moon. like it, Alicia. So you're either 90-90 or you're a pigeon. So 90-90 would look like this. Then take my left hand to the outside, right hand up, under. So I'm staying tall. And then keeping that tallness. It's a great stretch for upper back as well. So hips, upper back. If you're like, whoo, I'm tight and pigeon isn't my jam today, this would be more your jam. So just know that there's always a way we can do it. It just depends on your body and you listening to your body and honoring what your body wants. So when you're ready, we're going to take a deep breath. We're going to rise up. Totally your choice if you want to come here, but left fingertips to the inside of the knee. Fingertips, hips, and back foot. Reach back for what you can. If you want to try to grab both hands, I'm going to hug that, the balance. Hug that ankle into me. Lengthen that ankle back. Find length and height. And then release when you're ready. Find a down dog one more time. Bend your knees. Gaze goes forward. Step, hop, jump, float. Fingertips to shins, guys. Lengthen up. Exhale, fold. Check in. Is it different from when we first started? Are you able to get to the floor? Do things feel a little looser? Bend your knees, ground into the floor, roll yourself all the way to standing, gentle little squeeze. And then release your hands. All right, guys, come down to your mat because it's 10:04. Of course, I always run late, right? Here comes my doggy. Come here, Pookers. We're going to Shavasana. Ooh, don't knock my stuff over. Come here, bud. Sit down. All right, guys. It's that time. So I want you, and you get the dog. I want you guys to come down to your mat. Here, lay down. Or go see your dad. Don't care. So he's just going to sit and chill. So I want you guys to find a really comfy spot on your mat or on the floor. You can be palms up, palms down. Ooh, my floor is cold. Whatever works for you. I just want you to take a few moments to just simply breathe and to see how your body feels. Because even we've been spending this time connecting our breath to our movement, to our body. So what I want you to do is solely worry on just relaxing your body. So close down your eyes. Don't worry about if you're on your mat, not on your mat. I want you to take up as much space as you possibly can. Be as comfortable as you can. You're at home, so just be super, super happy and just like hang out with your dog or with your cat. And then just close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale out through your mouth. And I want you, as with every exhale, let go of different parts of your body, whether it's your face or your belly or your feet and toes. Or maybe you release your jaw because you notice that you're clenching your jaw. Sometimes we don't notice those things until we start to just do a little scan through our whole body and notice how things feel to us. So just take these few moments at the end of class where you can just simply let go of every part of your body. I want your body to feel like it's so heavy it can't leave the mat, but so light that you almost feel like you're going to float off of it. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And give yourself 5 slow breaths. And on that 5th breath, you can turn to your right or your left side. You can take a moment to curl up in the fetal position. And then after you've turned to your right or your left, take a breath or two and then take that hand you're not using. Oh, big down dog stretch. And use that arm to bring yourself back up to seated. Pancakes even got a little down dog stretch in there too. So bring yourself back up to seated. Oh, thanks for joining class the last minute, right? He joined class the last second. He wants to go outside. All right, guys, I hope that you feel amazing. Do you feel amazing? You, of course, always feel amazing. He just got out of bed. I hope you guys feel great. Please let me know. Yes, Pancakes made it to class. He's so cute. Let me know in the comments, guys, how you feel. FYI, it's only Sunday yoga now, so you won't see me on Thursday, but if you look really fast, at the top of the group, you'll see a tag, like there's a tag that says yoga. If you click on that, it's gonna pull up every single yoga class I've ever taught in here. So you don't have to go searching through the group trying to find them. So look for that little topic. You just click the topic and it will pull everything up. Remember, I won't be here Thursday, but I will be here every Sunday. So I hope you guys feel amazing. Let me know in the comments how you feel, how you did, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.